Hey, welcome guys. This is going to teach you how I cut the cord. So I'm going to basically compare me and my wife to the next average couple, especially here in Canada, because the industry for telecommunications services and media services is extremely monopolized. There's not a lot of options here, so they do kind of rip us off. So the average Canadian couple will pretty much have a home phone line, a cell phone each, so that's 2 cell phones, home internet, and some sort of TV subscription service. That could be cable or satellite. And that will rack you up close to $300 a month. That's a crazy amount of money if you think about it. But yeah, that is pretty much the average here in Canada. Now my wife and I, we have 2 cell phones, 1 each of course, home internet, we have no home phone line, and our TV subscription service is very unorthodox. And we average about $160 a month, give or take. So just over half of what the other next couple might pay, and that is a huge amount of savings. So all this cord cutting tactic, we've actually done it for the last 3 years and we haven't regretted it once. So the first things first is home phone line. Now when we cut the cord for home phone line, my parents are kind of like, well, that doesn't seem like a good idea. What if the cell phone service goes down and you're stuck in a bind? Well, they got a good point, but you know, you have your home phone line, but I use WhatsApp calling or Facebook calling then. You know, there's a lot more communication services available than sometimes the parents realize. People check their email instantly on their cell phone nowadays. Like, there's just so many ways to get around this. It is ridiculous. But what about calling long distance? Well, I have a lot of family in the UK. We use Facebook calling because they're all on my Facebook list. And Facebook calling is about 3 times clearer and sharper. The sound is phenomenal. There's no static. There's no delay, because you know when you're saying something but then there's a delay, and then you start saying something again, and then all of a sudden the person on the other end starts speaking at the same time. You don't really have that problem. You don't have to get a long distance plan. Everything's free because you're using your internet, so it could be your mobile data plan or your home Wi-Fi, for example, and it's clear. And the other thing is that if I need to call someone, say in India, who doesn't really have a great data plan, or maybe they don't have great Wi-Fi, and I do need to make that long distance call, well, I'll end up buying a calling card because I don't really call overseas that often. It's quite rare every few months, so the savings is outstanding. There's no home phone line. I could just end up buying a calling card every so often, which is a lot cheaper. Now home internet, that is one of the things I can't really avoid. I think no one can really avoid that. I think a lot of people prefer internet over anything else of their services. Now cell phones is another thing, like the internet, I can't really discuss too much because you're rather limited with services and options. So lack of TV subscription, how did I do it? I don't like the idea of commercials. I don't like the idea that I have to sit down at a very specific time to watch a very specific show that I like. I love the idea of Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon TV though. There are no ads, well, except for Hulu, the lower tier plan. And of course, I have the TV available whenever I want to watch it. So if I'm behind on Family Guy, for example, I can just binge watch it, catch up. Or if I missed an episode last week, I can always catch up 2 weeks later if I'm too busy right now. I can favorite my TV shows when I know exactly when the newest one has come out. For example, BoJack Horseman, I got an alert that it's back and I was stoked to watch it on Netflix. The bonus about using services like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon is that they have their own exclusive content. A lot of that content is pretty damn good. So for example, on Hulu, we have The Mindy Project. On Netflix, you have Narcos, BoJack Horseman, Daredevil, Punisher's coming out, and the list just goes on. A lot of great content out there. But what about news and sports? Those are the 2 big ones I had to miss. Now, news, I ended up just reading on my cell phone during breakfast. There are a lot of alternative solutions out there available. I don't need to watch it on TV. By surfing it on the net, I know exactly what news I want to read about, and I'll read about it. Sports is the big problem though. So I'm not a huge sports fan. I don't really care for sports. It's not really my type of thing. Even though I do go to the gym, I do mostly weight training. So I'm really focused on hockey and whatever. Now, there is a workaround method to that. My father-in-law, for example, does have a TV subscription service, so he gave me his online account, which gives him access to some online services from legit sports streaming services. The actual channels do have live streaming, so if whenever I do want to watch sports, I can just use his account by logging in. So the average cable or satellite service here in Canada will rack you about $70 to $80 a month. For all these services, I'm only paying about $30 a month, maybe a little bit less. I have the DNS workaround, so I'm able to get Hulu. If you want to know how to do that, you can just YouTube it or Google it. There's a lot of ways to find out. Now, there are some other services available, like over-the-air TV. Now, if you have an over-the-air antenna and you're close enough to a broadcasting system, you can get HD channels, some HD channels, not all of them, and they are perfectly clear. They're free. This is not a fake thing. This has been going on for well over almost 20 years now. There are some other streaming services like Pluto TV, or you can use Kodi and download some certain Kodi packs to stream TV. So some of those Kodi packs are legal to use. You are allowed to use them. There's nothing illegal about them. But of course, there are also some illegal streaming services available, which again, it's live TV, so I don't really care about it, and it's illegal, so I'm not gonna get into it. So that's my guide on how I cut the cord, and I've been happy for well over 3 years. And I think I'm just gonna stick like this because, well, all that online content I was telling you guys about is just gonna grow and expand. And I do hope this really helps someone out there finding alternative services like I did, and it works great for me. So be sure to check out my Facebook, Google+, Twitter, and Instagram links in the video description. Hit that like button, it does help. Subscribe, and thanks for watching.